Hello Year 2. Today in Maths, we are going to be starting a brand new unit. So we finished with tallies and pictograms and block diagrams, and now we are starting fractions. Today, we are going to be learning about making equal parts or making equal groups. First question for you is, what does the word equal mean? Pause the video and have a think. What does the word equal mean? So equal, I'm going to draw something on here. Equal will be this symbol. Now, what does that symbol actually mean? It means the same. So equal means the same. If equal means the same, what do you think unequal means? Have a think. What do you think unequal means? Unequal means it's not the same. So for example, you can say that 5 is unequal to 3 because they're not the same. Here I've got a grid that has 5 squares going across and 4 squares going down. I want you to have a think. How can we color in this grid to show that it's split into equal parts? You can either just look at it and imagine, or if you want to, you can get a piece of paper and you can draw lines to make a grid that looks just like this one on your screen. And you can shade the different squares in to be split into equal parts. So you can eat 2 choices, imagine it, or do this activity where you get a piece of paper, split it into a grid, and split it into equal parts. So pause the video, decide what you want to do. So here we have the grid that you just saw and different ways that it could be split into equal parts. So if we look at the one here, let's look at this one. This one is split into 5 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each column has 4 squares colored in. So this one's split into 5 equal parts. How many equal parts is grid number 2 split into? How many equal parts is this grid split into? It is split into 4 equal parts because we look here, now we're going across, we're going horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. Let's look at grid number 3. How many equal parts is this one split into? It's also split into 5 equal parts, but it's just done a bit differently. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's this one, 5. And we know that they're equal because each different color has 4 boxes colored in. Let's look at grid number 4, sorry. This was grid number 1. How many equal parts is grid number 4 split into? It's split into 2. There's the yellow part and the green part. This one's split into 2 equal parts. How about grid number 5? Grid number 5 is split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal parts. So this grid here, the original one, we were able to split it into all of these different ways, and they're all equal parts. They all have the same number of colored squares colored in. Now I want you to look at these different images. Which image shows equal parts? So which ones here show equal parts? I'll number them so you can have a better look. So this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops, and 5. Which images show equal parts, ones that are the same? Think of equal as fair. What do you think? So the equal parts, we've got, let's look at number 1. Number 1 is split into 2 parts. Is each part the same? Yes, so this one is equal. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is split into 4 parts, but are they all the same? Are they all fair? No, because this bit here is a lot smaller than this bit, so it's not the same. So we'll say it's not equal, so we'll put a big X on it. Let's look at the eggs. It's split into 2 parts. Is each part the same? Yes, so this is equal. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 is also split into 2 parts, but they're not equal because this bit is a lot smaller than that bit, so that is not equal. How about number 5? Number 5 is equal because each section, each part has 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So that is equal. For the next part of the lesson, you will need some paper, maybe 5 sheets of paper, and 12 counting objects. So pause the video, make sure you have 5 sheets of paper. It can just be scrap paper, it doesn't have to be brand new paper, and 12 counting objects. So for this part of the lesson, you need your 5 sheets of paper. I've got plain paper, but you can use scrap paper. It doesn't really matter, as long as one side is blank. The first thing you want to do is to get your piece of paper and turn it into a square. So I will show you how to do that. You want it to be a square shape. So let's put your paper this way. Get that out of the way. Put your paper this way. Take the right corner and you're going to fold it in, fold it down to the left, and you want this top edge to line up with this left edge. So I will do it, and then you can copy, okay? Sometimes it helps to rotate the paper. Okay, so you take the top right corner, fold it downwards, and I'm going to hold it there, and I'm going to rotate so it's easier that way. And you want to make sure the 2 edges are lined up. If they're not lined up, your paper won't be a square. Okay, it might take a little bit of readjusting. Okay, then get your finger and you're going to pinch it down like that. Okay, then this bit is the extra bit. You don't want this bit of your paper. So you can get a ruler and a pencil. Might not need a ruler because sometimes you can just draw along this edge here. So this flappy bit, draw along it. Do it really gently, because if we do it too hard, the paper will move. So I've drawn along it. You don't always need a ruler. I didn't end up using mine. And now we've got a line going across. Open up your piece of paper, get a pair of scissors, and you're going to cut off this rectangle. We don't want that one right now. Okay, so I'm going to cut along that line that I've just drawn. Ta-da! Now I've got a square. You can turn this rectangle into a square as well, so you don't waste so much paper. So I'm going to put this big square aside, I'm going to get this extra bit. can turn that into a square so you've got some mini squares. So folded it down, then get a pencil, draw along that bit. So now we've got a line there. Cut that bit off. So now we have small square, big square. This doesn't have to go to waste. Turn that into a square as well. A bit fiddly. Okay, folded it down, pencil, draw a line down, and cut off the excess. These two squares are the same size. And we can make a little baby square. You might not want to do this one for this activity. You might realize that having a square this small will be a bit too fiddly, but you can give it a go. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. I might leave that one. The reason why I've asked you to get more paper is because you might want to make several squares. So if you find that the small ones are too fiddly, you might want to make several big squares, okay? So your task is to find how many ways you can split this square into equal groups. So already we can see that the square is split into 2 equal groups. We've got this triangle here, and we've got this triangle here. So I'm going to get a pen and I'm going to draw a line going down so you can see really clearly that it's split into 2 equal groups. I'm going to get Sharpie all over my table if I don't put a piece of paper underneath. So I'm going to draw a line going down, try to be as neat as possible. Okay, so here we've got 1 square split into 2 equal parts. So that is 1 done. Then you're going to get another piece of paper, another piece of square paper, and find another way to split it into equal parts. It doesn't have to be 2 equal parts. It could be as many as you like, as long as they are equal. So I want you to find as many ways, that's why you need lots of pieces of paper, to split your paper into, not 2 equal parts, into equal parts. So find as many ways as you can to do that. Then I want you to split a piece of square paper into unequal parts. So let's look at this one, for example. If we folded it like, let's say we folded it like this, and I drew a line here, this is split into unequal parts because this bit of the square is much smaller than this bit. It's not fair. So this is one way to split it into unequal parts. I want you to find some ways of splitting your squares into unequal parts. So just a reminder, your task now, split your square into equal parts, as many ways as you can come up with, and split your square into unequal parts, as many ways as you can come up with. When you have done that, come back to the video because we have a different activity to do. For this part of the lesson, you need to get 9 counting objects. Then I want you to split them into equal groups. So get 9 objects and split them into equal groups. So pause the video and go and do that now. So how did you split your 9 objects into equal groups? You may have tried to do it in 2s first, but you would have run into a problem. So I'll show you how you would have done it in 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Now what is the issue here? The issue is that they're not equal groups. These are all in groups of 2, and then we have a lonely piggy who is not in an equal group compared to everyone else. Everyone else is in 2s, and the piggy is by himself. So how can we divide this group of 9 objects into equal groups? It has to be done in 3s. So we'll put them into 3s. So here we have 3 equal groups. Now I want you to get 12 objects. So you're going to get 12 objects, and I want you to split the 12 objects into equal groups. There's more than one way. So you're going to split your 12 objects into equal groups. When you have done that, I want you to try to split your 12 into unequal groups. So here I've split the 12 counting animals into equal groups. So they're in equal groups of 2. We can also split them into equal groups of 3. So if I put that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, this is another way to split the 12 counting animals into equal groups. We can also do it into 4s. So here I've got 3 equal groups, and there are 4 in each group. I can also do it in 6s. So here we've got two groups, and there are 6 in each group. So here I've got 2 equal groups. So here I've got unequal groups. I've got a group of 4, a group of 5, and a group of 3. So these groups are not equal. What if I do it like this? I've got this group here of 5 and a group of 7. This is also unequal because they have different amounts.